Hello there guys and welcome to That Anxious Gamer. Today I'm going to be showing you the very best tips that I've learned from playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be giving you an extremely concise and timestamped video, so let's get right into it with one of the best tips that I've found, which is that if you go to any armor or weapon slot, let's say you're looking at your feet, your boots, you can click on the actual slot and you can actually see every piece of gear that you can put in that slot. So let's go to the main hand weapon and you can actually see I have the hammer haft, but I can actually see that I could put the Everburn blade, I could put a dagger +1, and this is a very easy way to actually inspect your gear and basically see which is best. So I think this is a lot better than going down. Let's say you're going in your inventory and you're saying, okay, like let's say I have this bow and I want to compare, like let's say the short sword to the hammer haft. I think by clicking on the actual piece of the gear, the weapon slot itself, it's a lot easier, guys. And you can do this with every single character in the game. Like let's say if I want to look at Gale and I can say, okay, well here's what I have on Gale. Is there anything better that I could equip for him in that particular slot? So that's been tip number 1. So for tip number 2, guys, we're going to be actually looking at a looting tip. So basically, if you press Alt on the keyboard, you're going to be able to see everybody that can still be looted. So if you see this dead Drow Raider is empty, you can see there. But these Drow Raiders that have a little asterisk above their head will have something on them. So let's go over here. This guy is will be caught stealing if we get his stuff, so we don't want to do that. So let's go to this dead Drow Raider, and you can see Simple Toxin and Silver Necklace. So that's a really easy way, guys, to learn what you should loot and what you should not loot. If you're on the PS5, press right thumbstick in. So that's the R3 button. Right thumbstick in will do this exact same command. So hopefully this has helped you for tip number 2. So tip number 3, guys, is going to be dealing with stealth. So we're going to actually be looking at a stealth tip. So what we can do here, guys, is 2 separate things. Number 1, we can press left shift. When we press left shift, we can see all the vision cones of people that are around us. And we can see if we're in the sunlight. For instance, this one Fist Recruit Epverin can see all of this in red, but she cannot see this in white. We can also see that here we're in broad daylight. That's the little sun symbol. But like over here, we're not in daylight anymore. We're in shadows, but not full shadows. So like here, we can see that we're always in the sun. So guys, if you want to get your party in the stealth, what you can do is you can press Shift and C. So by pressing Shift and C, or this is left D-pad down if you're playing on the PS5, you can basically put your whole party in the stealth. This can be really good, guys, if you want to stealth around and let's say you want to pickpocket somebody. So even though it will not work, like it very unlikely to work with my stats. Let's say if I wanted to press Shift and C, I go back, I don't stealth, right? And then let's say I get behind this lady and actually want to try to pickpocket her. Now, I'm more than likely going to get caught here. Yeah, and hopefully this tip has helped you. This can be really good if it's in dark areas. If you're playing as like thief characters, you can easily pickpocket people using this tip. And specifically, this tip can be really good for avoiding combat encounters. So hopefully, guys, that has helped you. So for tip number 4, guys, I have 2 tips. This is specifically for PC players. So the first tip, guys, is if you want to just continuously run in one direction and you don't want to keep clicking. So like, for instance, here I'm clicking on the ground. But what I can actually do is I can just hold left mouse button down in one direction. And then actually just slide the mouse around. So see here, I'm not clicking anymore. I'm just dragging the mouse and my character keeps running around. This can make it a lot easier, guys, if your hand is getting a little tired and you don't want to click. I haven't clicked once this whole time. I've just been dragging my character around. So that's one really great tip if you're on PC. Another great tip is using the tilde key. So this is the key to the left of the 1 key on your keyboard, the tilde key. So if you press the tilde key, you will see all like all NPCs, all enemies, everybody, and the NPCs will be highlighted in like yellow and the enemies will be highlighted in red. So you can kind of automatically see what the alignment of a character is to your character. So hopefully, guys, if you're playing on the PC, these 2 tips have helped you. Alright, guys, so for my last tip, guys, I wanted to show another really cool one for the PC players out there. So let's say this, guys. Let's say you want to transfer some stuff around. You're starting to get encumbered. You have way too much stuff. So the way you probably know how to do it is like right-click on the item and then you can, let's say, send it to another character. Let's say I want to send this to Gale, it goes to Gale. Or if I just want to drag one over and give it to Gale. But there's a much easier way of doing this, guys. Let's say I have a bunch of stuff in my inventory and I no longer want it. So one thing you can do is right-click on the item and then send to camp. And so that will actually, you have a personal chest at camp, use it to store items you don't want to carry. But there's an even more powerful way you can do this, guys. Let's say you just have tons of junk and you want to get rid of this stuff. So what you can do on the mouse and keyboard is you can actually control-click multiple items. So let's say I want to get rid of all of this, so I'm control-clicking several items. Then I can right-click, and then I can send to camp, and you see those 5 items just disappeared. So that's control-clicking if I want to take specifically several items. But if I want to just shift-click, I can actually take whole sets of items. So let's say all of this stuff I no longer want. I want to send all this to camp. I choose one item, I hit shift. I then choose everything below it, and look at this, it selects everything, and I can just instantly send all of that to camp. So guys, if you're starting to get encumbered, if you have way too many items, if you're having trouble managing items, this is a really easy way that you can send items in massive quantities, either between party members or to camp. So hopefully this has helped you guys. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. Most of my viewership is actually not subscribed, so it would help me out tremendously, and it helps you get the great content you want. So thanks again, and I will see you guys in the next video.